guys, BigHeroes9 here, giving you an all-new series, project, thing, however you want to say it. I mentioned this on the podcast. We are going to be doing a huge special for the official announcement of Danganronpa F3. Now, if you haven't watched that podcast, I suggest you go do it. The announcement is like, it's somewhat in the beginning and somewhat in the end, so go and check it out. But if you are definitely here for this, let me tell you about this. Danganronpa F3 is not that. It's 4 days away, releasing March 17th, which I believe is a Sunday for everyone, unless you're in Australia. But we don't know, so is what it is. Danganronpa F3 is a fan game slash video project that was made by Iluka, if you do not know, and it's just an amazing project. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. You guys will see my live reaction in probably the 18th, either that or on the 17th, and it will be going up either that night or that morning, either or. So, with that being said, we have a little fun project for you. So, I did say that we were going to be doing, basically talking about Danganronpa 1, 2, 3, V3, and the side game that I just cannot remember for the life of me. Now, before I begin, I would like to say thank you all for the support on the channel. It is really amazing, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. So, with that being said, today we are going to be talking about the top 10 characters of Danganronpa 1, 2, 3, V3, and the side game. Now, of course, there will be a lot of probably forgettable things, so I will try my best not to clamor along with these 4 days. Anyways, with that being said, Celeste, thank you for keeping number 10 a secret, and let's get to number 10. So, number 10 is Monica Toa of Danganronpa 3 and Danganronpa side game. That's just what I'm going to call it. So, Monica Toa is actually a character that was made to be hated. She's basically the ultimate hate, I would say, besides Nocto, because everybody does not like Nocto. Monica Toa plays a really huge role, actually, in the Danganronpa series. She is supposed to be the, I guess, next in line to be Junko. Junko, aka her big sis, quote unquote, is basically the, I really don't know how to say it, but what gets her onto this top 10 list is how different she is from the other characters. She's more of a leader to the Warriors of Hope, and is more of a, let's say, possessed Junko. And this is actually a really good thing for her character, because I think it brings out more of how she is, and how her plans could really develop, so to say. Of course, in Danganronpa 3, she was shown, I think, a couple times. In one, and I'll bring up this picture because basically relatable, where she's actually in a little van. Well, I wouldn't say it's little, but in this like cargo van type thing, playing video games and basically saying that she will be going off to space and clearing her mind from the world. Now, this is a really cool like line for her, because it shows that she's not trying to be Junko, yet she's still trying to cause despair into this world. I think that with her character, she has potential to be like, if there was another game out, she would come out as the random mastermind and it could just turn all tides. But now I think what sets her from the 1 through 9 and the characters that have actually not made this list is the fact that she has manipulated other characters to do what she wants. She's manipulated, I think the name was Nagisa, Kyoko, or I can't remember the pink one's name for some reason. Her. I know Nagisa, and I know Jitaro, and I can't remember the red-haired name. There's not that much I remember about the side game. However, I think in F3 when we did see her, it sparked a little like fire that we may know that she's up to something, that she may be the mastermind. And that's I think that was a really good thing that the anime did. So, with that being said, we're gonna go on to number 9, in which case it is, for some reason I can't remember. Oh yeah, here it is. Gonta Gokuhara, Danganronpa V3. Now, Gonta, beautiful baby boy Gonta, with some random names. Gonta Gokuhara is the ultimate entomologist, which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically a bug scientist, so to say. A man with a kind heart and strong willpower. Gonta has tried so hard to make friends during this killing game, and has actually later been found guilty due to a mastermind. I wouldn't say mastermind, another manipulation, as he was manipulated by Kokichi to kill Miu. Now, what sucks is that he really shouldn't have been punished. But what adds on more is that an alter ego is put in to explain everything, and none of them know what's going on. I think personally this brought a sad moment to me, because Gonta is such a sweet man, and I think his character really showed that there was hope in this world for people who may be not smart or so caring, but yet it brings on this huge play of how come he couldn't be helped when putting his VR goggles on, or why couldn't he do this or do this. And I do feel bad for Gonta, but at the same time I do feel like this was a good what he was manipulated to do was good for the game. Now, I only say that because with every good guy, there's also a crazy person, so to say. Danganronpa has brought in many characters to killings. So, like, for example, I think Mondo is one of the more shocking ones. Hifumi, especially because especially since Hifumi killed Ishimaru, and I think they're trying to relate that back into the Hifumi case with Celeste killing Hifumi, where although there was a manipulation into it, there was also a dead downside to it. I only say this as a good if Danganronpa was to make any new game, like an all-star, it doesn't have to be canon, but a Danganronpa like all-star type of thing, with the same rules of the killing game and everything, I would love to see Gonta make an appearance. I think why Gonta isn't ranked higher is because there isn't much difference in him. I know he's a good guy. doesn't want to hurt anyone. Yet, the only thing is that, and besides him being so innocent and pure, he doesn't lack, or he doesn't have the, I would like to say emotion, I would say. The emotion to make the higher tiers, like some of these other characters do. However, his execution was not necessary. I will admit that. Alright. So, next up on this list, we have Ibuki, and of course my brother. We have Ibuki, Miyota. Now, Ibuki is one of those characters where there's a reason why she's number 8 and not like number 5 or number 1. Which was a consideration for number 1. She is the ultimate musician with an actual troubled past. From what I do remember, she was, she left her to do some, I believe it was like a heavy metal pop type of thing, which honestly is really cool knowing that a character with such a troubled past can still be this happy and still be this, so to say, excited. Of course, I think her entrance is just amazing with this whole Ibuki. I think her in the anime was actually really good as well. I think the anime portrayed her more as a, as more of a rock artist who cannot be shut down, so to say. And I think this is true. I think this is true 100%. I know that in some cases, Ibuki is a firecracker that just will never go out. But at the same time, she knows what's going on. She knows this reality that's being shown. I think some of the most memorable moments for Ibuki was I think when she was introduced into the Danganronpa anime, where she was just playing I think it was Cinnamon Snowflake Serenade, and she just had a flamethrower on her guitar and was just lighting up the place. I think one of the best moments for Ibuki, as well as in the game when I think she was trying to understand what Teru was saying, and Monami was just out of nowhere translating, and her reaction to it was just priceless. Do I think Ibuki do I think anything needs to change from Ibuki? Absolutely not. Do I think there's things that need to be added on? Yes. I think Ibuki's maturity isn't a thing, which I'm actually really glad it's not, because Ibuki being mature is actually not ever the best thing, because besides Kyoko, which we will talk about in one of our future characters, but Ibuki shares a likeness with Kyoko. Kyoko is childish, she's immature, yet she knows what's going on as a reality. And I think Ibuki shares that same thing, but what she does with it is she turns it more into a fun and passionate game. Not like Byakuya. And also, another good thing to note is this From Me to You, everyone's reaction in this scene right here, absolutely hilarious. I think how the game portrays it is hilarious. Or I don't think it was that one. I think it was Let My Feelings Reach You. One of the two. It was absolutely just hilarious. So at number 7 we have, and I think this is pretty easy to find out, I would say. but it is my browser does not like me, guys. Chihiro Fujisaki. Danganronpa 1. So, from the anime and from the game, Chihiro is just a lovable trap that nobody just hates. Nobody hates her. Many of the times, Chihiro is portrayed as a girl, who's just loved. She's loved by almost everyone until the game, in Chapter 2, kills her off. So Chihiro, the Ultimate Programmer, actually has done a lot of good things in the anime and in the game. So in the game, I believe in both the, I am clicking random things. In the game and in the anime, she made this alter ego. And I think alter ego played more of a role in the anime than it did in the game. Because with the anime, things are so more, like, wide range, I guess. She helped try to take over, or not take over, I'm sorry, wrong word. She tried to help them with taking down Monokuma, and yet, even though it wasn't enough, she still had a way to help, and I think that is a really good thing. All alter egos should be loved. However, in Chihiro, I think what caught her in this game was the reveal that she was actually a boy, and I think that she also actually helped out with this, with some help from Kirigiri. Kirigiri talks to everyone, telling them that they should see this, and after revealing that Chihiro revealed this to Mondo, actually, I think it was really moving, because we see now that that Danganronpa also has this LGBT community character that everyone could just relate to. Now, I can say that for me, Chihiro relates to me in her kindness. And this is kind of why she's at number, I think I said 7. Yeah, I believe 7. Chihiro's so kind. She is very innocent and very loyal to her friends. And especially with this picture, it's just very innocent. But I think what sets her from the others is that she is not ready to die, and she just wants everyone to get along. More than the rest of these characters, more than Makoto, I feel, and I would say even more than Hajime. So, at number 6, as we're actually thinking about this, as we're actually going through this video, I've been thinking about my number 6 a lot, and I think my number 6 is going to the amazing and most powerful Gundam Tanaka. Now, Gundam Tanaka is from Danganronpa 2, and okay, it's already 5 seconds in, and I've already found a Ugandan Knuckles. This ain't okay. Anyways, Gundam Tanaka is the ultimate breeder and probably one of the more cooler characters on this list. With it, from his many ships with Sonya Nevermind to his demise in Danganronpa 2 Chapter 4, I think Gundam plays the role of the dark nemesis of everyone. Although he is this immortal being, he also has a soft side, and this is definitely shown in his execution, where he really cares about his four Dark Devas of destruction, but puts them aside so they cannot be harmed. But at the same time, Gundam has always had a cool, mystical... I don't know. Gundam Tanaka is probably one of the cooler characters on this list because he's basically the animal protector. He's kind of like Gundam. Although he doesn't want to make people... See, I cannot speak today. I'm telling you guys. In the anime, he is portrayed to be a immortal god who can control animals to do what he says. An example of this is when he was fighting a soldier of Junko's, and the hawk just comes from the person's shoulder and flies around and onto Gundam's shoulder, and I think he says, I believe he said something like, I am Gundam Tanaka, all shall fear me, or something like that. But I think Gundam, if I had to think about Gundam and how his murder and how his execution came along, I don't think he should have been the one that murdered Nekomaru Nidai. And I say this for a couple reasons. And I think Soda should have killed him. And it's not just because I don't like Soda or anything, but it's more because I think Gundam's character wasn't expressed as much as it should have. In Danganronpa, you usually find out that no matter seeing how many people are into Gundam, and like the more his story is brought out, that's when you know something's gonna go wrong for the character. And I think this one was just unexpected. I think knowing that his character wasn't expressed enough showed that we were not ready to see Gundam die or see how he murdered someone. Another thing about the anime with Gundam was the scene with the bear. And I don't think he controlled the bear, but if he did, it was hilarious. The moment where I think it was Soda and Teru were doing this like weird I don't know how to say it, cause yeah, doing something with a banana and a donut, so to say, and the bear just like munches it, was the most hilarious thing in the world. Now, I'm gonna say one more thing about Gundam real quick, and that's his Dark Devas. Of course, it's been a while since I've actually mentioned the Dark Devas to anyone, in or out of a video. His Dark Devas are, I think, the things that Gundam cherishes most. No matter what he is doing, he's always there for his Dark Devas. Sand D, Jump E, and two other ones that I just can't remember. I think that because of how he cherishes his hamsters, he shows this soft side and this loving side that I think Sonya is actually attracted to. And I think what attracts her even more and makes it even sadder for his execution is when he uses a stick to draw symbols and I think it was a mage circle is what it's called, to try to teleport away, and it ended up not working. So just to see those effects though is what probably made his execution way sadder, besides him getting carried to heaven by the beautiful animals. So number 5 on this list is gonna go to Mika, or not, sorry, I'm sorry, not Mika, Himiko Himeno. And a lot of people will be shocked that number 5 is Himiko. Himiko from Danganronpa V3 is one of the more childish characters. I wouldn't say one of the more. I would say the most childish out of all of the characters, and it's a good thing. It is really a good thing because she was put into a difficult position in this, and I think she's one of the more like build-up characters. So, of course, I'm gonna just get straight to it with the chapter 3 of V3, where she is basically watched. Well, I wouldn't say watched, but she finds out that Angie and Sumiki, not Sumiki, I'm just, whew. And not Samugi, Jesus Christ, Tenko, that Tenko and Angie die. She sees it firsthand that Tenko is dead, after realizing that Angie dies, after being in this huge, student council with Angie, Samugi, I think with also Gonta, and she is faced with the reality of knowing that she is alone. And I think this is a really sad thing that most people deal with in this world, especially with me. It's just such a relatable character because it's a child watching people die and knowing that the ones that you love most are just going to perish, and it is never a good sign for anyone. I think personally, Himiko is just an absolute sweetheart with her funny impressions, being a mage and not a magician. You can be triggered in the chat when you do, if you want. But especially here, I'm gonna mention this a lot. Her bursting into tears after watching, after realizing that she is alone. I think, especially seeing that, because I think in one of her free time events, she was told by her, well, the person that she was apprenticing, to be a good magician and be better than him. And after he left, she knew that she was on her own. She knew that things were gonna get tougher from here. And I think she's been bottling up all of those emotions, that she's been told she's a magician, not a mage, and that she really doesn't have that many friends. So basically, Himiko is me in a nutshell. And just seeing those tears makes us want to cry from knowing that we are all alone at times, but in the end, there are times where we have people to help us. Another thing about Himiko is her ever loving ship with Tenko. I think what she has with Tenko is just absolutely amazing. You see a scene where she accidentally flips Himiko. You see, Tenko is probably one of the more friends. Well, I see Tenko as more of a friend to Himiko than I see her as like a lover or whatever. Cause Tenko is like a bodyguard. She will protect Himiko from anything, which is why she was so, I wouldn't say upset. I would say more I would say a little bit jealous of Angie when Angie started helping Himiko, and like was trying to brainwash her, quote unquote, on that one. But as well, she was more. I feel like her character was more developed than any of the previous characters. I think her character as well was shown, especially in Chapter 2. And the only reason I say this is because in Chapter 2, she's denying that, she would tell the trick. And just seeing the magic show in general was actually one of the highlights for Himiko. Seeing how she escaped was like, whoa, but at the same time knowing that, that Ryoma died was very upsetting. Poor little mans. But I think personally Himiko is definitely deserving of top 5. And I think that if they're gonna make another character like Himiko in the future, they need to do one thing, and that's make it more. I'm not gonna use creative because creative's definitely not the word, but like try to build up more of her story in the game rather than in the free time, because the free time there was a lot of build up to her past and her character, which also brings me to another redhead in Mahiro from Danganronpa 2. So Mahiro was who is at number 4 is a different type of crazy, I would say. Definite best friends with Kyoko. She's just ready to have fun and do anything that she can to survive with Kyoko. Now, it was brought up in her past that her mother, I believe, was a war veteran, or is currently in the war. Her relationship with Kyoko has been something that not a lot of people would have expected. She's basically like a mother to Kyoko, and this shows that she has a lot of I would say that she's grown up. She has grown up more than necessary. That she, because of not being there, or her mom not being there, she is forced to grow up and forced to mature. And I think that is also something in society that Danganronpa was trying to see, especially in the anime, where she reacts to her friend dying, and then her other friend apparently doing it. From what I remember, it has been a while since I've watched the anime, so I'm going off my best. Sorry. But more in the game wise, that Mahiro has this touching, let's say, persona, that kind of makes her like, I wouldn't say an outcast. I would not say an outcast, but to see her die in Chapter 2 the way that that was actually portrayed in the game, with the I think it was Twilight Syndrome or something like that, kind of scared us because it kind of relates to how if someone dies in the game, in that way, you could also die in that way, and it brings us that fear and a grip on reality that anything can happen, where you could die of health, or you can die by being murdered. And I think that's one of the huge things that people miss in Danganronpa 2. Which I will probably be going over in the next few days. I think her character is just well built. I think when she died, that she left a huge impact on Kyoko, and Kyoko was so ready to change and all that. And I think this also, like, as much as it didn't help her, with the death of Kyoko being in the chapter after, she kind of slowed her role from bullying Mikan as much and focused more on paying homage to Koizumi. So Koizumi actually leaves a big impact on the game too, from a game to real life perspective. Of course, besides her death, I think that she basically sees that people aren't. I don't know the best way to say it. I think that in the game she is basically she's like Kurumi. She'll do what she is told, but she will not do anything for Soda, which I don't think a lot of people would. Soda's not that nice. Well, he's nice, but anyways, her friendships with the rest of the rest of the people are what makes her Chapter 2 death so upsetting. But next up, in number 4, I think it's been number 4, because we've done Himiko, Mahiru, we have done Monica, we've done Chihiro, we've done Gonta. So yeah, I think this is number 4. Trust me, I am trying my best to remember all of these. So at number 4, we have, and I think this will come to a shock to a lot of people, but Kaito Momoto. And you might be thinking, oh, but Kaito was such a great character, why would he be at number 4? Kaito has done this and this and this. Well, here's the thing that sets Kaito away from the top 3. Despite Kaito's motivation and everything, he never seen the bigger picture of everything. He hasn't seen what the world, like, honestly, I think that he's more, as much as a heartfelt execution he has, he leaves out this part of him, honestly, I'm not sure what really sets him from number 1, 2, and 3, and that's what kind of sucks as you're analyzing these things, is you're thinking, how characters are, how they're different. And for Kaito, I really don't see much of a difference, yet he is one of the most, he's one of the most beloved characters in the game, and I think that his past hasn't been brought at all. The only thing about his past is that he was sent to space, or he was supposed to be an astronaut. That he was being taken care of he was taking care of his grandparents, was supposed to go to space, and ended up in the killing game. He has cheated multiple astronaut tests. I believe he said he has cheated them, and he's left a big mark on the Danganronpa V3 game, mainly because of his execution. As we were told before Chapter 5, that he was going through a disease that a lot of people were infected with, leaving him to cough up blood and eventually die. Kaito was always out there for Shuichi, being a quote-unquote sidekick for Shuichi. So basically playing the Nagito role, except with a lot more chill. And I do want to bring this up really quick, is during the Chapter 5 execution, he saves Koichi, which is one thing that I actually really like. Like, not that I like Koichi, because I really don't like Koichi. Or Kokichi. He's basically showing that no matter what someone has done, they can always be forgiven. That, and he was also following a plan that Kokichi had set up. In which case is Kokichi's final goodbye. I think personally Kokichi is just not that good, but at the same time, Kaito sees that he wants to end the killing game. He wants to end Monokuma, and agrees to Kokichi's plan, which is a really, really strong thing, because he can forgive people to work for one certain cause. Kaito is also a huge fan of being a dramatic person. For he basically, in his Chapter 5 execution, is that he basically waits until the final second to foil Monokuma's plan during his execution, in which he's actually going to die of the disease. Now, before we realized that the disease was actually fake or so-called planned, he was basically a nice guy who nobody hated, and he was respected. I think that what would have brought him more into the top 3 is if his backstory was brought more, like, how did he even get into the astronaut academy, or why hasn't he been to space, or things like that. But other than that, Kaito is probably one of the I wouldn't say well designed, but he's one of the more well dressed in character than in Danganronpa. So the top 3 are actually going to be a little more, they're going to be shorter, but they're going to have more meaning to it. So and I think these 3 are all in the second game, from what I remember. So at number 3 we have Hyoko Sanaji. Yes, I brought up that Kyoko wasn't going to be in, but at the same time I was thinking she probably deserves to be in here. Now, Kyoko is what people would say a brat, or is a total crazy crazy bully who, oh, it's a little gif, that's cute, who actually in the anime is more of a grown, maturing woman. I really don't know how to say this, because Kyoko is one of those characters who you wouldn't expect to be so considerate when it comes to being mature. But when she is in the killing game, as this child, she's basically super mean to everyone who is not Mahiro. I should probably scroll up so I don't get demonetized. She is the traditional dancer. She is everyone's favorite bully, especially Mahiru's, as she basically acts like a son to Mahiru, who will need help, will only have Mahiru help, or when she actually discovers that Mahiru was killed, she goes on this little, like, upset emotional crisis. And in the end, when she finds out that Peko did it, she basically goes off on her. She yells and is upset at not only Peko but Fuyuhiko for the killing. I feel like the way that she was portrayed actually kind of brings out the child in me. And I know that's a really weird thing to say, but she, as I'm looking at like some type of note that I made, Kyoko is easy to spot the liars, with simple taunts like Miu would in Danganronpa V3. And I think, as I'm adding this out, V3 is basically 1 and 2 combined with the different characters. So like, Miu can relate to both Mikan and Kyoko, in which Hyoko's case, she's just full of insults and full of hatred that it's so hard to not love. And I think that if people actually given her more of a thought to how her character was brought up, that people would actually like her more. And I will say this, I think it said her birthday was not, like, legit last week. So, before I end this, I will say happy birthday to Kyoko, you beautiful little banana girl, as we go on to our number 2 character in Fuyuhiko. So, Fuyuhiko is an interesting character. He's that gangster that will not say, that will not take no for an answer. He will get what he wants until it was no longer needed. Of course, he is the ultimate Yakuza, so it makes sense. Now, Fuyuhiko, and his quote-unquote sidekick, Peko, have a really deep connection that has started all the way from birth. Where, and this was actually brought up by Peko, that she was served or she was made, I wouldn't say made, she was born knowing that she's supposed to protect Fuyuhiko, that she is to be a tool, so to say, to Fuyuhiko, and yet Fuyuhiko never wanted a tool. He wanted a friend that he can rely on. And of course, as the ultimate Yakuza, that may not look like a good thing, but it shows that Yukiko has a sensitive side. Of course, he does get injured during the execution, and is ended up rushing to the hospital, into which he, when he is back, he is seen with an eye patch, and hope in his cool little eye of trying to help Hajime. Man, I am like running out of my voice, so apologies for that. It is also revealed that in the game and in the anime that Yukiko actually has a sister. When this was brought up in the game, he was super defensive on it, about how the person who died in the Twilight Syndrome game was not his sister, and he's trying to grasp that he's not losing anyone to any stupid game like this. So, as well, Yukiko brings out that bad side that can be relatable to Mondo, but yet he is not taken as seriously as Mondo. But when he does come back, he asks for forgiveness by basically almost trying to commit suicide by cutting his stomach. And this is really to show that he is a changed man and that he is sorry for what has happened, especially for what has happened to Mahiro. And I think this shows that he's going to change. He wants to change, and he wants to be accepted. And if that means changing who he is, then he will 100% do it. And so with that being said, we're going to get to our number one character, but first, honorable mentions. Now, I think there are two that are just really close to making the top 10, but I just don't think they made the cut. Now, some of you are going to be shocked when I say this first one, but I'm going to say Chiaki Nanami. Now, Chiaki is an amazing girl. She is really nice. But I think that she's not as interesting of a character as people would think. Now, in the anime, that is a whole different story. But in the game, I just do not think she is a good character in the name of being fun. However, her character in the anime, I feel, is a lot better than the character in the game. And then the second character I'm gonna say is Mikan Sumiki. Now, it may be odd, it may be seem like my favorite game is definitely the second one, which, it's just got the best characters, is what it is. Yet, Mikan's character was 100% brought up when was more shown in the third game, which led to her killing Buki and Kyoko. And I think besides that, she really wasn't a big, she was not well known or well loved, or well seen in that matter, for the cases or for any of it until the third game, and that's why she is one of the honorable mentions. Now, for the final character, I'm pretty sure some of you would have seen this one coming, but it is Aoi Asahino. Now, I'm going to shorten this nice and sweet. Donuts. No, I'm just kidding. I should probably stick to one picture because the rest of it is defo fan service. But that is not why I like her. Now, in the anime, I'm going to bring this up. In the anime of Danganronpa 3 and Danganronpa 1, she's portrayed as this fun girl who's ready to just stay alive and make friends. Especially in the first one. In the third one, she's so bent on helping Nagato escape. Now, the difference between the 1 and 3 is that 1 is more she doesn't know what's going on, and she wants to help everyone escape along with Nagato. Or not Nagato, I'm sorry. Naegi. While in this game, actually, she is known to be a donut-loving swimmer who basically, and this was brought up in the free time events, gets ready in the day by stripping in her balcony and doing stretches, I believe, is what was said. And this is one of the reasons why she's liked. Not my favorite reason, but it is a reason. I am ashamed to even say that, to be honest. But at the same time, she's really, so to say, she's really known for her friendship, and this is why I like her, mainly. So, as you can see in Danganronpa, I think it was the 3rd or 4th chapter. No, it was the 4th chapter. She actually committed suicide, her friend committed suicide, and in knowing this, she actually took she took this into her own hands and tried to switch the murder. Or tried to, she didn't want her, she didn't want to know that it was a suicide. She wanted to believe more than anyone that it was a murder, that she would never commit suicide. But she did this by basically switching the evidence, and it's a really huge thing because Asahina and Sakura were really close friends before the killing game, and we're actually still pretty close after the during the killing game. And I think by knowing this, she relied on Sakura to help her escape. And sadly, after that, she was more confident in trying to escape and escaping quickly rather than trying to be killed. Personally, I think that she is really loved in the community, and I think that there's a great reason for it. I will say that I think her execution, if it was to actually be a thing, is one of the best executions in the world. Yeah, that's really all I can say, because other than that, she's just shown to be a really beloved character, and actually a really relatable character to athletes. So, with that being said, that is my top 10. I'm hoping that you guys actually enjoyed, because we are basically an hour in. I didn't expect it to take this long, but at the same time, my stuttering is terrible. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys are ready for the amazing, the series. And I'm really hoping none of these last an hour long, because I do not want to be doing this an hour for a day. But if worst comes to worst, it will be, but it is what. So please hit that like button down below, comment down below your top 10, because I would love to know your top 10, love to know, if there's a reason why, you may type it in the chat, or in the comments, and just show your love for Danganronpa in the comments, and until next time, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe down below, because you know that your support is greatly appreciated. And you know what, if you have tips, leave them in the comments as well, because, you know, again, tips are definitely appreciated. And until next time, thank you all for watching this part 1, I would say, of the 4-part Ready for Danganronpa F3 series. And until next time, until tomorrow actually, peace out, Mikuians.